once again some incredibly challenging conditions overnight for firefighters with incredibly strong winds, and those winds have continued into today. The weather today is slightly cooler, but we've still got those strong winds today and again tonight, ahead of hopefully a forecast change with some possibility of rain later on Saturday afternoon. Those conditions last night were once again challenging for firefighters, and it's seen us actively defending homes around Clenton Road and Ewing Road on the northern flank of the fire. Those prevention activities around those homes have been successful, and there's been no further losses overnight. I can advise that the Rapid Damage Assessment Team has continued their work of assessing the damage to homes throughout the fire area, and a secondary assessment where they've started again back at the start of the fire at Wooroloo and working their way west again has resulted in a further 5 houses being identified as lost, and that brings the total number of losses to 86. An absolutely devastating outcome for the owners of those homes, and our thoughts are absolutely with them. The whole emergency services family, we stand with them and acknowledge the difficulties that they're going through, the challenges of the last couple of days, of the notification process to those people of the loss of those homes that's continuing to occur today, and the difficulties that they're going to face, the challenges that they'll face over the next months and year. Our thoughts are with them, and we wish them all the best, and we stand ready to assist them wherever we can. Today we've seen a number of breakouts on the northern flank. Just in the last hour we've had a breakout just below Shady Hills there, which once again the retardant lines that were dropped a couple of days ago in there have resulted in us being able to pull that breakout up, once again demonstrating the effectiveness of those retardant lines that were put in there. We're working today to open up some of the areas to the public. Those areas east of 2J Road for the fire, they will be open at 4 o'clock this afternoon for full access for people that reside in there, and those roads will be open at that time. Restricted access permits, we're looking to implement the restricted access permit process for areas west of 2J Road up into Tilden Park commencing from tomorrow, and I encourage those people affected that they continue to go to Emergency WA and follow the warnings and the information that is there, and the information that's made available at the community meetings to understand exactly when that restricted access permitting system is going to commence. A number of roads will be open. I understand that Great Northern Highway is looking to be reopened today, and the exact timing of that will be contained within Emergency WA. There's also some work to be done on 2J Road, which is still closed, and Western Power are currently undertaking some planning on exactly what the quantum of works is required for that road to get the various power lines and power poles reinstated. And so members of the community who use that major road, that they're keeping themselves abreast of the reopening, or indeed the length of the closure that may exist there to allow Western Power to do their work. We've also established a framework or a process around people who are inside the fire area and can't exit out through vehicle control points to be able to access some of the necessary supplies they have, like fuel, like feed for their stock, and food that they may require. And so those people that are crewing those vehicle control points have been briefed about making sure that those people inside can access friends and family outside to bring those supplies to the vehicle control points to allow that exchange and allow those people inside to continue protecting their homes. We've had a number of other fires, both yesterday. The fire that occurred 10 kilometres north of the current fire is now fully tracked and safe, and the proximity of that fire to Wooroloo is of a concern, but also the proximity of the aircraft meant that we were able to get around that fire really quickly. In the last hour, there's been a fire up at Gabadar, up in the Shire of Gingin, and I understand Indian Ocean Drive is now closed. I'll take some questions.
residents do you estimate will be allowed back in this afternoon and tomorrow, and how many will still be locked out?
So everywhere east of 2J Road, from 2J Road out to Wooroloo or to Werribee Road, that fire impacted area is now fully open to people who resided in that area. Obviously, some of the homes have been lost in those areas, but some of those homes are still there. And in fact, over 200 homes inside the fire-affected area, have been saved during the course of the firefighting effort.
Some of the residents say that firefighters did a magnificent job saving their farm animals, but there are apparently hundreds of farm animals up there that are in desperate need of food and water, and they're being stopped at the roadblocks.
Yeah.
They can't get that food and water to those animals. When are they going to be allowed back in?
Yeah, so those people east of 2J Road, that they can go back in there as of 4 o'clock this afternoon, and those are the critical times. Certainly that opening of that area is based on that feedback. Exactly what you're saying is that feedback about having to get in to deal with stock, and particularly those larger items like quantities of water to be able to make that available to horses and stock. For the areas west of 2J Road where there may be stock, I spoke about that exchange that can occur at the vehicle control points. Those people that are inside that area we're asking them to get friends and family to assist them with that. Where they can't, and they're looking at the passage of a large truck that might have hay and the like on it, they can ring 13 DFES, and that call centre will route that call through, that information through to the incident management team here at Mundaring, and they will facilitate that resupply to assist those people to keep those animals safe.
I think it's the residents that have expressed concerns are the ones that chose to leave the area.
Yeah.
Off outside the roadblock now, and they're concerned that basically even another minute, another hour could be deadly for some of these animals. That's their big concern.
Yeah. So what we've done overnight is we've restricted the footprint of the vehicle control points. So they were further outside of obviously outside of the fire affected area, and what we've done is restrict them in. So as those warnings have been restricted, we're back to advice level east of 2J Road and watch and act west of 2J Road up to Tilden Park. At the same time as we've reduced those warnings, we've also reduced those vehicle control points in closer to the fire edge, and so that means that people that were previously excluded are now able to access those properties.
So we've got hopefully some better weather conditions on the way. What are you expecting from this fire over the next few days?
So we've still got some difficult conditions to get through this afternoon and tonight, overnight into tomorrow. Ahead of the passage of that tropical low down the coast, I've just come from a briefing with the Bureau of Met, and we are expecting incredibly strong winds, stronger than we've had already tomorrow ahead of that tropical low. So some challenges still exist for us. At this time we're being advised that we will see rain on or about the fire ground at approximately 11 o'clock tomorrow, but between now and then we've still got the challenges of these really strong winds. There is no letting up here, and I want to make the point, the rain's not guaranteed either, and so our planning is still continuing should that rain not occur.
Is there any update on how the Wooroloo fire started yet?
No, there isn't. No.
Can you confirm it's being investigated? What are you doing to make sure it's done?
Yeah, so the Arson squad with WA Police is currently investigating, supported by the DFES fire investigators, and that'll just be a course of work that they go through. They certainly have identified the cause of origin in terms of a certain place and point on a block, but exactly what caused it to start is still being investigated. Yeah.
We've heard a lot, obviously, in general terms about the effort our firefighters have made. Can you talk us through some of the specifics, some of the hardships that they've undergone over the past 5 days?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's outstanding, isn't it, that we would have, volunteers. We've got the volunteers who actually exist here in the Shire of Mundaring, the City of Swan, who feel a real sense of ownership to this fire and their efforts towards it, and they're here volunteering for their community, which they do, 365 days of the year, and we acknowledge that. Great respect for that effort. But we've also got, volunteers that have come up from Albany and parts. I know that I see today that we've had volunteers that are looking to commit from out of the Midwest down to the fire down here, and that. That's a real part of the culture of emergency services volunteering that they should be incredibly proud of, as we are incredibly proud, the community of Western Australia, for the efforts that they put in. And can I make the point that certainly the firefighting volunteers have been front and centre of this, but you would have all seen, the State Emergency Service volunteers who are have become such a critical part of the logistical support to bushfires here in Western Australia. And the people that loaded the retardant on those large air tankers, they were State Emergency Services volunteers down in Busselton. Over the last 4 days, they've been keeping that retardant mixed and loaded into those large air tankers as they've landed and filled up and taken off again. And so it's a very collegiate, collective group that come together to help communities at their greatest time of need. Yeah, so we're constantly monitoring fatigue, as you would expect. We're constantly concerned about the ability of the volunteers to keep coming back, and noting, of course, many of these brigades have really well structured rostering systems in place where they, people commit the time that they've got available to commit. And in some way the lockdown has been rather beneficial for us as well, because many of these volunteers were at home for the week anyway because of the lockdown. So there's good rostering systems in place that exist in the volunteering brigades, groups and units, and of course we've got our career firefighters and DBCA who are on their paid rostering system, which also works very well. And so noting that, of course, we've got plans in place to be able to bring those resources from the East Coast if we need to. Obviously some complications there with COVID and quarantining and one thing and another, but all that planning is underway. I'm reasonably confident now that coming into the forecast weather that we've got on the weekend, that we won't need to access those resources, given the current operational activity, not discounting that other things could happen. Yeah.
That's going to be one of the iconic images from this fire in terms of the firefighting effort. What did you think when you saw that, or how would you sum up that photo?
It's clearly an exhausted firefighter after giving X amount of effort, of hours of effort to protecting lives and property, and it is iconic. I do agree that. Constantly we're seeing these people, they're out there doing things for other people, and I think it's one of the most, the most noble things that we see in emergency services is that constant commitment of people to commit themselves to doing things for other people in the community, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
Thought to be deliberately lit.
Yeah.
What comments do you have about that? Obviously, that is described as deplorable this morning.
Yeah, that's still being investigated, and as the investigation goes on, it will be identified either way as to whether it was deliberate or not. But regardless of that, arson occurs, and we know that we deal with that every year from a bushfire point of view. So it is deplorable. Volunteers, these people that are out there giving their time free to protecting the community, we want to reduce that time down to as small amount of time commitment as we possibly can, and additional bushfires caused by arson, by people lighting them, does nothing to support those volunteers and the effort that they put in.
If it is arson, how much worse is it, I guess, in this scenario, given that it's happened in an area where so many homes have been lost?
Yeah, it's the rural urban areas of Perth are fantastic places to live. and they come with their risks. There's no doubt about that. And you know, we have structures around making sure that we're getting resources to the fires in these high-risk areas as soon as we possibly can. And so, you know, arson in those areas, I know that Operation Vulcan, which operates with WA Police during the bushfire season, has been really successful at targeting those people that are undertaking those activities, and long should it continue, because you know, we do have fires that occur in a whole range of different places in the state, and they occur for different reasons, and it's difficult enough for us dealing with the fires that start by lightning or misadventure or by accident without having them added to by people undertaking arson.
Just to clarify, sorry, will everybody in some way, shape or form be able to return to their home tomorrow?
No, because you know, we're still dealing with active fire on the northern flank of this incident, and that activity that's occurring at Clenton Road and Ewing Road has been occurring for the last 3 days, and we said a couple of days ago about the challenges we were going to have with that northern flank because of the terrain up there. And so we will open areas as soon as we possibly can. I can assure you that, you know, nothing is, you know, more at the forefront of our mind than getting people back into their homes. I really do want to stress that point, that we understand the mental health issues that go with people that are outside of the home. They want to get back. They're worried about their pets. They're worried about their stock. They're worried about their homes. They just want to get their life back to normal. And we, along with the local governments and everybody involved here, just want to get those people back as soon as we can. But we want to make sure it's safe. We don't want trees falling down on people. We don't want, you know, getting that power back on is really important, that we get that done as quickly as we possibly can. And so, you know, space and time for those people to do those things is required.
Is there a practical compromise for people that maybe have livestock though? Can they be escorted in there? Can they, you know, is there some way they can make sure that their livelihoods and their livestock are safe?
Yeah, so that's the restricted access permit system that we're looking to set up tomorrow, that allow people access into that area between you know, west of 2J Road out to, you know, west of Tilden Park. Anything further than that, then we're into Clenton Road and Ewing Road, where we're still dealing with active fire.
Just
Yeah.
with the Wooroloo fire, there were reports that there was a suspicious car seen in the area. If that is the case, can you confirm, I guess, what people should be looking out for?
Look, I'm not aware of a suspicious car in the area, but what I would say about that is that, you know, people should be contacting Crime Stoppers, and I've said in the media already today how important it is that, you know, we can all be a part of this. You know, everyone's got a role to play to stop arson, and so if you see something suspicious, then I'm encouraging people to make that call to Crime Stoppers and report what they've seen. Yeah. All right, thank you. Well done. Yep.
Right, Jack, we'll just 3 o'clocker. We'll just use this spot. I know. Run along in between the lines. And it's not very amazing. How are you? Very well, thank you.
Yeah, how you going?
Good job, Commissioner. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bloody amazing. Amazing. You know, it's still saying, hey, how are you? How's things? Okay, no, you get along with that.
We are.
I gather the people that are watching know what.
look,